What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's gonna be like a bookshelf. This is a shelf unit in the kitchen. It's gonna be real simple box like I've made before. I have an old video that's similar. I'm just gonna get started making this. The depth here is gonna be, I think, like 10.5 inches. These are the shelves. 3/4 less than the sides, 9 3/4. Then I'm gonna put a rabbit or a rebate rabbit in the side of this shelf, and then these will be cut shorter, and then I'm gonna put this wainscoting behind. So that's gonna be like the back. That's gonna be the back panel. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cut these at the 66. This is the sides. So now we're gonna do the layout. The layout, you can put the shelves wherever you want. What we've got here is 14 to the bottom. That's the shelf. And then we go to the next one. From the top of that shelf to the next one is 12 inches. And you can cut an inch. You can cut an inch here and get a little more accurate, but you got to remember to add the inch back. So instead of 12, now I got to mark 13, and then add 3/4, and that's the shelf. The top of the cabinet is going to have another one here, so this will be 3/4 from this edge. Before I change this blade, I'll go ahead and cut the shelves. Okay, here's my drawing again. We want 29.5 outside to outside. So I'm going to cut 1/4 inch dados. So I'm going to leave a 1/2 inch behind. So if I cut the shelves at 28.5, then a 1/2 and a 1/2 makes 29.5. So that should be good. Go ahead and cut these to length, and then we'll switch to the dado blade. And I'll explain it more later, but that's one reason why I like this saw so much, because you can do this many different ways. You could use a router with a straight, with a guide, straight edge. You could route those. You could use on the table saw, you can use it on the dado, but I don't have very much room. I don't have much width right here. It might work for something like this, and I think that it's a little bit more tricky. So that's one reason, one of the main reasons I got that saw. But I love that saw for all kinds of, quick cross cutting, and it makes a real nice cut. And as long as you're super careful with it, it works great. Here's my shelves. Let's go ahead and cut those and then move right through this. So now if you take this length plus 2 sides, that's here under 30, and then we're going to cut in a quarter and a quarter, and we're going to end up at 29.5. So another nice thing about these old tools is they are, you know, the factory settings, they're very, very square. So I've got my shelves. I'm going to go ahead and switch this to a dado stack. So I'll mark a 1/4 inch on here. And like I said, when I cut these, I put them up on blocks. I want a 1/2 inch remaining, that's what I want. So I'll just mark this right here. Do a test cut. That's my depth. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's real close right there. Not hitting anything. It's good. I'll take a cut here. This is still on small pieces. You got to be careful. You know, you don't want it to grab or do anything. You can press down here. It should be fine, but then you got all this blade exposed. So I might use like a little bridge block thing. I just want to stay away from it. Oop, plug it back in. I could almost live with that, but you know, that's nice loose fit, and it'll be plenty strong when you put it together. But so I shouldn't have put that shim in there. Now I'll pull it back off as soon as it stops. It took a few minutes just to clean some of the pitch off the blade and stuff. So I took that shim out. We'll give it another try. Should be a good fit now. And then, like I said, the only thing to be careful here is this stuff is super dense. So you got to be careful depending on, like if it was just white pine or some softwood, it cuts pretty good. But like I said, this sheet was super heavy and this stuff is dense and it's different direction. So I'm just going to have to be careful. As long as I make sure, keep back pressure on it, it should be fine. But we'll see how this, hopefully it cuts a little better. We'll give it a try. Yeah. Huh. Well. Okay. Change it one more time. I think I cranked down the... It seems to have some flex from the arbor nut to kind of squeezing them together or something. But so I added the shim back and then I snugged it, but not too tight. So hopefully this one will work. And also it seems to be cutting a little better, but also if you just got to kind of go slow and let it cut and not go too much, because you really wouldn't want that to grab. That's the worst thing. And I'm not for sure if it would stop the blade or jump. Some people say it would jump up and lunge. You really wouldn't want that to happen. Yeah, it should work. That'll be fine. It almost seemed like it was still a hair tight, but this one I'll try to line up right at that bottom edge. Okay, it's the next day, and I was just thinking, I was just about to glue this up, and then I remembered I have to cut the rebate or rabbet in the back, and I thought I could use a router. You know, I don't need a whole lot here, like just a quarter inch. Quarter inch would be enough, just something for the wood to land on. I think I'm just going to use the table saw because that's a lot quicker and easier. About there. So this way, I'll be able to just push this flat and just run it straight across. That didn't take long. A little bit of a ridgy cut, but hey. Also, I thought I was going to put a whole shelf on the bottom, but now that's just going to be like a little foot thing, so just leave that off and adjust that later. And this is a real tight fit. I quickly chamfered the edges on all these openings, and on the shelves too. So the trick to this is keeping the front edge. You really want this front edge lined up because it's such a tight fit. It's really hard to move it once it's in there. So line that up. You can walk it back and forth, hammer it down. So I get all those, and you could set those at 90 or whatever. And then you got to fit the top. You got to start it and then take a block and hammer it in, and somehow it comes together. So the top one you can put on last because that's a little more, that's just kind of floating there. So really I'm going to put in these four, and then I'm going to leave the bottom off, and that's what we're doing. So go ahead and glue this up. I got the Titebond 3, and in the past I have done this again. I have put heavy, actually a heavy amount of glue in there so that it kind of stays wet longer. It shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. Famous last words. Okay, that's a pretty healthy bead, actually. Nice fat bead of glue. And I will work it in. I like to get it up on the sides, just because it's, I'm all about adding extra strength. When you glue this all together, it's going to be very strong, but also don't want to get carried away like it's plenty of glue. Too much glue probably, as usual. So this is the critical thing here. Right here, I really want this totally flush because, like I said, you really can't move it once. But if you get it lined up, like that's really good, and then just walk it back and forth and stick it in there. It's really tight. Okay, that's in there, and it's nice and flush. Not even in there all the way. Those are a little too tight. Get a nice big mallet. Give it a old smackaroni. Okay. Next one. Like I said, double check the front. I don't know why these came out different. Just kind of wiggle it in there. That's not the right size. Shit. These are supposed to be 9.5. What happened? What in the world? That's a 16th off. See, it's really basically impossible to move it once it's in there. Okay. Well, that's just exactly how it turns into a shit show real quick. Just a good example. How in the world does this even happen to me? Well, the good news is there's always a fix. There's There's a remedy. Why are these so tight? Good wiggle. Now the other side probably won't go together worth a shit either. Yeah, that glue might have just swelled it up. I got an issue here with this. There it went. Good Lord. Okay. One more. Okay, so these are all lessons you learn along the way. So next time, maybe don't, there it goes. So next time, maybe not screw everything up, but I mean, here's what I didn't say. Next time, I should have just gone with that looser fit that I originally had. It would have made everything easier. Top's going to be almost impossible to get on there. Okay. Just insane. Golly. What is the deal? It's just not moving at all. That's what clamps are for, right? Okay. I'm going to sand this. Just sand this one real quick. This is just not going my way. Obviously, I give myself a fighting somewhat of a better chance putting these together. This should be enough just to loosen it up just a little bit. I should wear ear protection. Oh boy. Yeah, should have just gone with that first looser fit. I'll try to remember that. And since I put plenty of glue in there, some of it's flashing, but some of it is still wet. That's my theory. So now I'm gonna put glue on here. Maybe a little less this time. Not a whole lot less. Now I gotta try to fit this up and start hammering it on. I don't remember half the stuff. I try to say, oh, I should do this next time. And you forget. Let's see if we can get this on there. Should have used a hardwood block too because the other one's so soft. Alright. Now, gotta fit this on there. Somehow. Line up the fronts. I'll line up the fronts first. So I'm getting it started. I'm going to get the back started. This part might hammer together a lot easier. The main thing is, like I said, I want to make sure that these are flush, because if they're not, it will be no good. That's pretty good. And then set that, bring that down. Geez, this is a lot easier. Maybe I should have done it like this. Okay, this one. Start it flush. Seat it. Make sure it's flush before you hammer it home. Okay, and then this one's holding it up right now. Flush. Set. Set. I don't care about beating this up because the sides are going up against the wall, but see, it doesn't want to move too much now. good. This one. Close enough, I guess. Okay, that's in there. Now, lay this down. Flip on the other side. It might be exposed. That's the bottom. This side, I don't want to beat up too much. Yeah. That softwood's not working. It's not working. There's that. And then set it back down. Check for square. And then you could go right here. 46. Here. 46 and 3/8. So, and what I do for this is just rack the whole thing like that. It's a lot easier to move it. 46 and a quarter. 46 and an eighth. A little bit more. You can even put it on the floor, push down, and just give it a little rack. That should probably be it. You can also do this with clamps, but so that should be square now. 46 and 3/16. 46 and 3/16. So that's square. Now put clamps on it. Yep. Come on now. Yeah, I'm square right there. I'll hit these. Then I don't know how good these squares, they always seem to be off a little bit. So